Now we're not messing around in this video. This aqua garden, my boy Dennis's. So I took this out. We are not messing around. What's that in your hand you got? It's called a tidal wave.
Aloha,
my ohana. It is your boy, the Hawaiian Fish Keeper. Now, if you're new to the channel, let me be the first to give you a nice big warm aloha. Hit that subscribe button and be a part of my ohana. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Now, we're not messing around in this video. We're gonna get right down to the meat and potatoes because we got a lot of work to do. I'm actually waiting for my boy Dennis to come. Now, if you guys have no idea who Dennis is, I actually did a video at his house on his 7,000-gallon pond. Now, if you haven't seen the video, I'll leave a link down in the description below. But not only that though, let me just give you a little bit of B-roll from that video to just kind of give you an appetizer. Isn't his pond beautiful? I mean, the scape. You talk about bringing a paradise to your backyard. That's exactly what Dennis did. And not only that, though, he did it by himself. He didn't hire no contractor or anything. He did everything. He hooked up the filtration. I mean, you got to see the whole video. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Now, I'm sitting here waiting for him. He's going to be here any minute, and he's going to help me with the above ground pond. We're going to get this thing up and going. I told you guys we weren't going to mess around in the last video, and let me show you what I have going on because there's a lot going on here, including, as I pan this way, look, over my shoulder. What is that? Do you guys know what that is? That's 275 gallons worth of pond right there. Let's go take a look. So I took this out yesterday. It is 275 gallons. I shut the inside out so it's nice and clean. Look at that. Not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe we make a turtle pond, huh? Any ideas? Any ideas, guys? Leave it in the comment section. Or I don't know, maybe I sell this to help fund Tiki Falls build. That would be awesome. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested, guys. Okay, so now that we touched base on the big 275-gallon pond liner, let me show you what the above ground pond looks like now. There it is, look at it. It's a lot different, right? The inside framing all the way around. I actually unscrewed the top too. You can see the holes there. So this actually comes up if I lift it up. See that? We are not messing around. Let me just back up a little bit so you guys get the full Monty of this thing here. So you may be asking, what are you going to use to filter this bad boy? Boom, right there. This is actually the filter that was filtering this pond when I received it. This is my Aunt Kelly's pond. I'm super glad that I actually inherited this pond to keep her tradition going with this pond. This is the actual filter that was filtering this pond. This is a Pond Max. You can kind of see it right here. Big pond canister filter here. UV sterilizer, the whole 9 yards. This would be perfect filtration for this above ground pond. But not only that though, remember I said we're going to actually put this Aqua Garden mini pond kit by Aquascape. We're going to use this as added filtration. So you see this patio bowl here, we're going to take this and we're going to stick it on the corner. This is my vision right in here. Boom, right there. We're gonna fill it with all type of biological media, whether it be lava rock, some pebbles. We're just gonna fill that bowl up, and we're gonna have to drill a hole at the bottom of it, put a pump down here in the pond. Water will pump through the bottom, coming up through the different layers of biological media. We'll plant some exotic plants at the top. Well, we can't go too exotic, but some tropical plants, maybe some canna, some iris, things of that sort. And then we're going to cut a notch out in it, and it'll spill into the above ground pond, which will help with water agitation and oxygen. So this is really going to be cool. That's the vision. I hope it comes out, okay? So don't quote me. That's just my vision. Now, I wanted to show you guys the pump here. That's going to be down in the pond. This is I believe it's called a tidal. Actually, it's called a tidal wave right there. You see that? And this pump, max flow, is 2,640 gallons per hour. Let's just call it 2,500 gallons, okay? So this pump here, 2,500 gallons pump. We got the hoses here, the connectors for the canister filter. Now, I've never had one of these Pond Max filters because maybe because they're really expensive. It's gonna be something new for me. I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna set this up. I'm gonna leave that for my boy Dennis. So as you can see, Ohana, your boy was a busy little beaver. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for my boy Dennis to show up. Wait, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and give the world famous Hawaiian punch out, and I'll see you guys in a second with Dennis sitting with me right here on the side. See you guys in a second. Boom! Just like that, guys. My boy Dennis is here. Thanks, Dennis. I really appreciate it, man. He drove all the way here, which is about, what are you, about an hour away? And then we add some traffic. It's about 2 hours, something like that. Yeah, dude, this is a good friend. Let me just tell you guys. Now, this is the brains behind the operation. Now, I'm sure you guys saw that little clip of his beautiful pond. By the way, how's the pond doing? Everybody wants to know. Fish still good?
Fish are good, getting big.
Ooh, gosh, he's got some monsters in that pond. We're going to flip this camera around, and my boy Dennis is going to explain to you guys what we're going to do and how we're going to do it in somewhat layman's terms. Check it out. So what are we going to do here, my man?
Well, we're going to repurpose your old framework of the old plastic pond that you got.
All right.
And we're going to try to make a lined pond on the inside of this. So you want to heat it because you wanted to put some tropical fish in there.
Okay.
So we got some insulation, and this is just regular rigid foam insulation. It's closed cell foam. It's not the styrofoam, because we're going to put some heat with a heat gun on this, and I don't want it to melt, so that's why we got this stuff.
Man, that's fancy, man. Fancy.
We have to take these 4x4s, which are the support holding the boards together, and we're going to rip it down so that way it will match the foam. So we're going to take about that much off of the corner, and then we're going to line it with plywood. And after we do that, we're also going to sweep the bottom, clean up all the concrete, and then lay a layer of foam down on the ground.
I'm telling you, man, I brought the brains on this project because I would not know what to do or how to do something like this. You see this piece of foam right here? You can get this like at Home Depot or a roofing supply store for, I think it's about, what is it, roughly about $40 a sheet?
$30 a sheet.
$30 a sheet for one of those.
Thickness. We went 2 inches.
Oh, we went 2 inches, so they have like what inch? Oh, there it is, right there.
It gets you R13.1 when you go to 2 inches, and then you can glue it down if you want. We're not going to do any gluing. We're going to lay down the base. This isn't going to move. This is going to be a permanent location. Okay. And the walls are going to have plywood over the top of this, so that's going to get screwed to the frame already, so we don't worry about gluing this down. And then we have PVC membrane roof. This is extra from my living roof I made, so it's a little dirty, but I'm going to clean it up. And this is just, so
that's the inside. The white is the inside. The gray is the
correct
outside. Okay.
So the white's going to be the inside, which I think is going to be cool because it'll show up your darker colored fish when it's in there. It'll probably get a little algae on there and stuff, but
which is fine.
It's just a really smooth PVC, and this is typically used on like a commercial roof, and it's approved for standing water. Ooh. And you actually heat weld it using a heat gun, and we'll show you that in a little bit. But it's just a plug-in heat gun.
Look at that.
And you just run this. It's overlapping, and you run it under the 2 seams. And as you seam the 2 pieces together, you take your little roller and you roll the seam down, and that's it. And then it gives you a little.
So the whole inside of this pond here is going to be layered with this, and this stuff here just so the people at home know, it's pretty expensive, right?
You don't want to build this for your pond. If you can find somebody that has some of this left over, or you can find it on Craigslist or whatever, that would be cool, but it's really expensive material. They do make commercial ponds for like special water storage, like chemical water storage, or say like a landfill where they're doing a membrane to protect anything from seeping down into the water table. They'll make giant ponds out of this stuff and then layer dirt over the top of it to protect this. But yeah, this gets really expensive. So
and what is this called again?
This is a PVC membrane roof. They also have TPO. So these are just like a rubberized roof, and so it's actually heat welded. Once when you seam it, it will be watertight.
Watertight, huh? That's amazing, man.
Hopefully, if we can do it right.
Yeah, right. Right. Took me about 30 minutes to understand what in the hell he was talking about. So he said, what we'll do is we'll remove that over there, which is the actual pond, and we will line it with this liner, which will give us more gallons. Would you say a couple hundred more gallons since it's this square? I mean, I didn't do the math. I know it's pretty, it's like maybe 500. Yeah, we'll figure it out at the end. Yeah, there you go. Thanks. Just like that, he removed it. Man, so we're going to remove these. What are they, 4x4?
Yeah, we're going to do one at a time, and then we're going to remove one of the corners out, so that way the insulation will line up flush with this, and so when I overlap the plywood will come in and sandwich the insulation in between.
Gotcha. Man. See, I would not know what to do with this, and that's why he's the brains. So we're going to remove this here, and this here. And we'll see you guys in a second.
I think there's still a screw right here, so that's why I'm using my garbage blade and a garbage saw.
Just in case you cut it. Look at that.
And there's the screw I cut right there.
Look at that. See, some of you guys might be saying, oh my gosh, that saw is struggling cutting through this wood. It's because that blade there is made to cut through metal. And see that? There was a screw there, and he knew he was going to hit it. That's why he just used that blade. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. If you drill it, it's going to go all the way through.
So we got to change the screw size.
We got some new screws. Oh, wow, look at that. Those screws are way better. Perfect, too. What kind of screws are those?
Those are Torx, just regular deck screws. But I always buy Torx. They don't strip out as easy.
There you go. Always buy torque. We just got done finishing drilling out all these corners here.
We're going to lay down insulation on the ground. So we're going to cut out the corners and cut it all to size. So there's going to be 1.5 pieces in the bottom. And then after we put the bottom in, we're going to lay in all 4 sides and then put plywood on all 4 sides. So as we go through
so we're going to sandwich it. We're going to put plywood. It's going to go, insulation and then plywood on.
I was only going to do plywood on the bulkhead sides, so I have something to put the bulkheads to. But since I already have the plywood, I figured let's just sandwich it all the way around.
Okay,
just so if anything hits the sides, it will have a little bit of a firmer.
Yeah, right on, Dennis. Thanks, man. So we're going to sandwich this whole thing around. So we're going to go insulation and then plywood all the way around the perimeter of this. All right, let's go. All right, Hana, so here we go. This is what it looks like. This is the bottom of the pond. It is insulated all the way around, as you can see. So what's the next stage here, Dennis?
Well, we're going to cut the walls out, place the walls in. So we got 4 pieces to cut out, 16.5, 65.
All right, so in a second, guys, you're going to see us with the insulated walls going all the way around. All right, my Ohana, as you can see, the job is almost done. We got the whole thing insulated. I mean, look at that craftsmanship, would you? Look at that, man. Thanks, Dennis, man. You're the man. What is that in your hand you got?
This is a bulkhead, and this is sandwiched in between the liner. So the liner goes in here, and then you put silicone on the back, and you place this over the top. There's a little notch to line up, locks in place, put the screws through, and you silicone before you put the screws through. And then you cut out the liner the rest of the way. And so this will be a bulkhead that allows the water to flow through into your piping to your filter. So that's a way of penetrating your liner.
Nice. And that's what is that, an inch and a half? What is that?
I think it's an inch and a half.
Inch and a half. Okay, cool.
And it's threaded on both sides, so you can always reduce it down or change whatever you want. You can add fittings, you can add injectors to direct the flow of water, or however you want. You can put a grate over the top to protect fish from going into your filter.
Yeah.
And so we're going to actually line this with plywood on just the walls. And so it'll allow us to sandwich the plywood in between here, and then this will sit against the plywood wall, and then we can run the liner up the wall and then place this over the top, cut it out, and that's how that's going to work.
Sealed.
And so we'll show you that step.
Watertight seal. All right, my ohana, I had to jump in here really fast just to let you know, and you're probably going to hate me for this, but you got to stay tuned for part 2. I am sorry, but I had so much video footage on this, and I didn't want to leave anything out. Just in case you guys at home want to do something like this and tackle this DIY project, you guys have an idea. And I think you guys would appreciate it, because the next video is a complete banger. Next video, we put water in it, we line it all up. You got to see how Dennis does it. It's amazing. Shout out to my boy Dennis. But not only that though, I got to give a huge double punch out to his 2 boys, Noah and Jerry. This one's for you guys. Yeah, that one was for you. I went old school. They loved the punch out. I used to do a punch out back in the day. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. Maybe Aloha Friday, we drop that video, okay? Part 2 of the above ground pond. Hopefully, predator pond. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. For these guys, I'm your boy, Hawaiian Fish Keeper, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Much love and aloha.
Hana upai ka pai moku hawa I hukia ela I mana ya karani. Hana upai ka pai moku hawa I hukia ela I mana ya karani.